So the key point is, all we need to do before we are defining our responsive previews over here, we need to provide that particular default color which will be used in overall cases whenever the media device width is not device specific. Actually, no breakpoint is being applied to it, but after the breakpoint we can certainly define all the properties in this way. We can assign particular classes to all those properties, such as they become different for different media device width. And in case if we do not specify, or if we do skip a definite background color for a definite device width, for say we are now avoiding this LG color over here, that means for this LG breakpoint the color will be changing into yellow. So if we now discard it off, we can see that in MD it will be green, then in Excel it will be pink. That means the LG is being now ignored over here. In that particular case, if we switch on to this MD preview, that means this medium device width preview, we can see that particularly the container, it is now switching to a green colored background. If we now increase it, we can see that still, I'm sorry, it wasn't been refreshed. So let's save it. Now get back to our project, reload. We can see that for this MD color, it is still retaining the same background property as been defined for MD or medium device width. That means for media device width from 768 pix to up to this XLPer, that means 1279 pix. But beyond this 1279 pix, it will be all set back to the one which has been defined over here. So this is the responsive preview of Tailwind CSS. You can set practically any kind of properties right over here, and in each cases we need to define first the default class which will be used generally or globally into this purpose, and then we need to specify all those media properties, all those media breakpoints over here, and we need to specify the change of those properties through some classes into it. And this is how you can set all those properties differently for different media device width. Now in the next case, we will be defining all about the text typography has been used in case of Tailwind CSS. In that essence, the first thing that we are going to do, we need to get back to the typography part, and here comes in the first case the font family. So here it goes. This is the first part, which is the font family. In the first case, we can see that all those classes been defined over here. This is the font sans class, which is using this particular font family. So this is the font family which has been used in this particular case. In the similar manner, we are having this particular font serif or this particular font mono. So now we will be using all those classes right over here. Let's get back to our project, and here first of all let's use this particular class, this particular header tag over here, this h3, and instead of h3 only we will be using a particular class for say font serif. Now if we get back to our project and reload, we can see that this is the change over here. First of all let's switch back to the larger desktop preview. We can see that already there's been a change of this particular font family. Press F12, inspect this particular code, what is happening over here. This is the h3 class, and it is using a class of font serif. So what is the font serif class over here? Georgia, Cambria, Times New Roman Times serif. So in that particular case, we have used this font serif class over here, and we can see that the same exact class is been followed right over here.